Nothing says romance like a Valentine's text so catastrophically dumb it ends a relationship before the chocolate even melts. And if you think you've seen peak digital disaster, oh no, this holiday heartbreak gets so much worse. 1. A Valentine's morning began with a man sending what he believed was a poetic masterpiece, except autocorrect decided it was time for sabotage and transformed "can't wait to hold you tonight" into "can't wait to scold you tonight." The woman, who had already endured a week of his aggressively mediocre romance, responded with reasonable confusion, asking why her boyfriend was planning disciplinary action instead of dinner. He doubled down by insisting it wasn't a typo, attempting to turn it into some kind of mysterious metaphor about love requiring accountability, instantly proving he had not thought this through for even half a second. By the time he backpedaled with a panicked paragraph about emotional growth, the damage was complete. A single rogue vowel had exposed how little effort he actually put into this relationship, and she decided that if the universe was going to send her a sign, it might as well arrive via pathetic text message. Romance ended, autocorrect undefeated, natural order restored. 2. A woman chose Valentine's Day to reveal her grand romantic confession. "I think we should take the next step." Her boyfriend, exhilarated for approximately 4 seconds, asked what she meant. Her follow-up text delivered the emotional equivalent of a brick through a window. "I want to add your Netflix profile to mine so we don't pay double." She wasn't proposing commitment, she was proposing cost sharing. When he hesitated, she clarified that she didn't mean moving in together, just consolidating streaming like a pair of middle-aged roommates trying to survive inflation. The moment he asked why this conversation required Valentine's gravitas, she explained that money-saving measures were intimate. That was the exact instant he realized their future would involve spreadsheets, coupons, and no evidence of affection. The relationship flatlined faster than a romance-themed sale at a dollar store. Nothing says passion like strategic budgeting disguised as emotional vulnerability. 3. A guy attempted a bold Valentine's gesture by texting a heartfelt message copied from an inspirational quote account, forgetting to delete the watermark reading at soulvomit_quotes2. His girlfriend immediately recognized the recycled prose, mostly because it referenced sunsets, spiritual healing, and our sacred bond, concepts he hadn't expressed once in their entire relationship. When she asked if he wrote it, he panicked and replied, "Well, I typed it," which is technically true but spiritually fraudulent. She pressed further, and he admitted the message came from a really wise influencer, as if outsourcing all emotional labor to a stranger was an acceptable romantic strategy. When she called it lazy, he argued that modern love is about sharing content. That was the final confirmation that she was dating a human refrigerator magnet, cold, unoriginal, and reliant on generic slogans. The breakup was swift, poetic, and, ironically, more heartfelt than anything he'd ever sent voluntarily. 4. A Valentine's text thread detonated instantly when a woman sent her boyfriend a cheerful, "Happy Valentine's Day, love," only to receive a reply saying, "You too. Hope you and your husband have a great one." She was, notably, not married. He had confused her with one of 3 other women he was messaging at the same time, achieving Olympic-level multitasking stupidity. When confronted, he panicked and claimed it was a prank, a word that has never once saved someone from consequences. She requested proof, and he sent a follow-up text blaming his phone for merging contacts, as if his device had decided to produce its own soap opera. By the time he realized none of his excuses even passed the sniff test, she had already blocked him on everything, leaving him alone with his phone and an impressive collection of self-inflicted plot twists. 5. A man ruined Valentine's morning by texting his girlfriend, "I got you something special," followed immediately by a photo of a jewelry box. Before she could even type her excitement, he clarified, "It's empty. I just wanted to show you the size of the box the necklace will come in when I save up." Nothing kills romance like a teaser trailer for a gift that does not exist. When she asked why he didn't wait until he actually had the necklace, he launched into a manifesto about manifestation and visualizing abundance, concepts he clearly discovered 5 minutes earlier on a motivational YouTube channel. She pointed out that manifestation usually works best when paired with action, such as, for example, purchasing something. He insisted she was missing the symbolism. She insisted he was missing the point. The relationship collapsed, leaving behind only an empty box and a masterclass in premature celebration. 6. A woman decided to celebrate Valentine's Day with emotional honesty by texting her boyfriend a long message about appreciating their connection. He responded with a thumbs-up emoji, not a heart, not a smiling face, a single, lonely, upward-facing digit that implied the enthusiasm of a bored elevator operator. When she challenged him on the absolute minimum effort possible, he explained that the thumbs-up summarized his feelings efficiently. She informed him that relationships are not quarterly reports. He countered that emotional nuance takes too long to type. She thanked him for the clarification and exited the relationship with more grace than he deserved. In the end, nothing ended this romance. It simply dissolved under the crushing weight of a man who believed affection should be optimized like a productivity app. 7. A guy decided Valentine's Day was the perfect opportunity to soft-launch romance with another woman by texting his current girlfriend, "We should take a break. It's not you, it's the universe redirecting me." The universe in this case had a name and an Instagram account. When she asked if this sudden redirection had anything to do with a certain coworker, he claimed he couldn't answer because he was on a spiritual journey, a phrase men often deploy right before making decisions that are neither spiritual nor remotely enlightened. She ended the conversation by blessing his journey and uninstalling his presence from her life with the efficiency of an IT technician deleting malware. Nothing says Valentine's Day like cosmic cowardice wrapped in astrology language he learned at brunch. 8. A woman attempted to send her boyfriend a flirtatious Valentine's text reading, "I'm all yours tonight," but her phone, acting as an accidental truth serum, corrected it to "I'm all yours" out of spite. Her boyfriend, who had already survived 3 months of relationship turbulence worthy of cable drama, asked what exactly she was being spiteful about. She tried to blame autocorrect, but her explanation carried the confidence of a toddler caught with a broken vase. He suggested that if spite was now the foundation of their intimacy, they might need to reevaluate. She replied with a paragraph filled with emotionally charged detours, none of which clarified anything. By the time the argument ended, both had realized the autocorrect message was less an accident and more a thesis statement written by fate itself. 9. A man sent a Valentine's greeting to his girlfriend using a voice-to-text feature while driving, saying, "You mean everything to me." His phone dutifully transcribed it as, "You meme everything to me." She assumed it was an insult, given her tendency to pepper conversations with reaction images. To clarify, he tried sending a second voice message, which translated into even more chaos. "I love how predictable your emotions are." He had said nothing close to that. She informed him that predictable emotions are a red flag level insult, while he tried to blame the algorithm. The more he spoke, the worse it got, his phone turning affection into passive-aggressive commentary like it was running a secret honesty filter. By the time he pulled over, the relationship was already on life support. Technology may not ruin all romances, but this one certainly got assisted. 10. A woman tried to spark some Valentine's romance by texting her boyfriend a picture of a candlelit setup she'd prepared. The poor lighting turned the scene into something resembling a satanic ritual involving mismatched tea lights and an ominous bowl of potpourri. He replied, "Why does it look like you're summoning an ex?" She laughed, but he did not. He followed up by asking if she'd been experimenting with energies, because the whole vibe felt ancestral and threatening. When she insisted it was just a romantic gesture, he admitted he had become genuinely uneasy and asked if the potpourri bowl was symbolic. She snapped, offended that her attempt at ambiance was being treated like a cult activity. He doubled down, claiming her aesthetic choices activated something deeply primal and not in a good way. Their breakup wasn't dramatic. It was simply inevitable once a Valentine's mood-lighting attempt was interpreted as spiritual warfare. 11. A guy attempted to start Valentine's Day by texting his girlfriend a photo of himself holding a bouquet, but he accidentally sent an earlier draft intended for his group chat. "Should I post this, or will she think I'm trying too hard? Scale of cringe 1 to 10. She informed him the scale was now at 11. He claimed it was harmless self-awareness. She argued it was evidence that he cared more about public perception than romance. He apologized, but the damage was complete. The flowers were no longer sweet. They were props in a social experiment gone wrong. She ended the conversation by advising him to date his group chat since they clearly received more vulnerability than she did. Sometimes the biggest third wheel in a relationship isn't another person. It's the boyfriend's need for peer-reviewed affection. 12. A Valentine's Day imploded when a woman texted her boyfriend a simple, caring question. "Do you want to do something special tonight?" His reply? "Depends. Who else is coming?" She asked why anyone else would be involved in a date for two. He explained he assumed her friends might join because she likes being social, effectively implying that romance required a support group. When she pressed him, he admitted he didn't want to feel trapped in a one-on-one situation, which is the sort of statement that should be mailed certified rather than texted. She pointed out that relationships tend to involve interacting with the person you're dating. He countered that he prefers distributed intimacy, a phrase that sounds less like love and more like a failed business model. By sunset, the relationship had been successfully redistributed to 0 people. 13. A guy tried to break the Valentine's ice by texting, "I've been thinking a lot about us." His girlfriend, excited, asked what he meant. His follow-up was a masterclass in emotional demolition. "I think we function better as colleagues." They did not, in fact, work together. She asked what colleagues meant in this context. He said it meant people who coexist without romantic expectations, essentially describing two residents who share a bus stop. She reminded him that the entire premise of dating is romantic expectation. He claimed he was being pragmatic, a word that has never saved anyone from a breakup and never will. She ended it by promoting him to the position of former colleague, which came with no benefits and immediate termination. Valentine's Day, where job titles go to die. 14. A Valentine's disaster started when a woman texted her boyfriend a sweet selfie with the caption, "Thinking of you." He replied, "Same pic you sent last year." She informed him it was not, in fact, the same photo. He insisted it was. She told him that accusing someone of recycling selfies is not a recognized love language. He tried to explain that the lighting and angle seemed familiar, which is code for, "I don't actually pay attention to your face." She invited him to identify a single detail that proved he remembered anything about her appearance. He folded faster than a cheap lawn chair. The argument escalated into an existential audit of the entire relationship, ultimately revealing that he had the observational awareness of a sleepy goldfish. She ended things, and he saved the photo, not because he cared, but because he didn't want to lose track of which one he had mistaken. 15. A man believed he was crafting the perfect Valentine's text when he wrote, "You're everything I ever wanted in theory." The phrase, "in theory," sat there like a landmine waiting for its inevitable detonation. His girlfriend asked what he meant, giving him an opportunity to correct the error, but instead he launched into a pseudo-philosophical explanation about idealized expectations and theoretical compatibility, concepts he clearly assembled on the fly like a malfunctioning AI. She asked if he was implying she was better as a concept than as a partner. He said she was misinterpreting the nuance, which is universally male code for, "Yes, but I didn't expect you to notice." She ended the relationship with the gracious efficiency of someone closing a tab. By the time he tried to clarify, the only theoretical compatibility left was between him and the single life. 16. A Valentine's evening disintegrated instantly when a man opened with the profoundly ill-timed text, "Before we go out, can we agree not to post photos together? I'm keeping my options open." The woman responded with a silence so powerful it could have been bottled and sold as a weapon. Sensing danger, he attempted a repair strategy that only made everything worse, explaining he didn't mean options romantically, just socially, which is a distinction no sane person has ever needed. When she asked him to clarify, he panicked and blamed algorithmic pressure, as if Instagram were holding him hostage. He then claimed couple photos confuse his personal brand, a phrase that should trigger a legally mandated breakup on the spot. By the time he tried backpedaling into a monologue about authenticity online, she had already decided that dating someone who views relationships like stock portfolios wasn't worth a Prix Fix meal. Their reservation survived. The relationship did not. 17. A woman detonated her Valentine's plans by texting her boyfriend, "I have something important to confess before tonight," which is the romantic equivalent of pulling a fire alarm. Before he could spiral into 30 possible disasters, she sent the follow-up, "I ate the gift you bought me." He asked what gift she meant. She replied, "The box of chocolates you hid in the closet." "I got hungry." The problem was that the chocolates weren't hers at all. They were for his mother's birthday the next day. And they were not generic candy, but a wildly overpriced artisan assortment hand-selected by someone with a deep emotional connection to cocoa. When he asked why she assumed they were hers, she said, "It's Valentine's week. Everything sweet is mine," which is a sentence that could double as a red flag parade banner. By the end, he wasn't mad about the chocolates. He was reevaluating what boundaries meant to someone who treats other people's possessions like seasonal decor. 18. A Valentine's text exploded beautifully when a guy greeted his girlfriend with, "Happy Valentine's Day to the most special woman in my life," followed immediately by another message. "Oops, wrong person." No human being has ever typed a faster breakup response than she did in that moment. He attempted CPR on the situation by claiming wrong person meant wrong contact name, as if he were running a warehouse and mislabeling boxes. She told him that if he had multiple special women, he might consider a calendar, a spreadsheet, or a therapist. He countered by saying she was overreacting, the universal phrase that transforms mild irritation into volcanic rage. When asked who the message was actually for, he said, "No one, just a draft," which is hilarious, because drafts don't usually require apologies. The relationship didn't just end. It logged itself out of existence like software detecting corruption. 19. A woman decided to spice up Valentine's Day by texting her boyfriend a photo of lingerie still on the hanger, accompanied by the caption, "Guess who this is for?" He replied, "Your roommate?" This wasn't sarcasm. This was a man sprinting away from romance at top speed. She asked why that was his first guess. He explained that she and her roommate share everything, apparently including lingerie now, which is a revelation she did not receive as a compliment. When she pointed out how bizarre that assumption was, he doubled down by saying he didn't want to sound cocky by assuming it was for him. She informed him that humility is admirable, but catastrophic cluelessness is not. By the end, the lingerie had become irrelevant. She broke up with him on the grounds that dating someone this socially oblivious is not a sustainable lifestyle. 20. A man nuked his Valentine's Day before lunchtime by texting, "So, are we exchanging gifts this year? Just checking before I spend money." His girlfriend asked if that meant he didn't want to spend money. He replied, "It depends on the return on investment." She asked if he was calling her a depreciating asset. He panicked and said she was appreciating, just slowly. Any hope of rescue evaporated. He continued explaining that gift-giving can be inefficient, using the sort of language normally heard in board meetings, not relationships. She politely informed him that affection is not a fiscal quarter. He then claimed he was just being transparent, the classic refrain of people who say awful things and expect applause for honesty. She broke up with him so efficiently she could have hosted a seminar. The only return on investment he experienced that day was learning the market value of his own stupidity. 21. A woman tried to flirt by texting, "Tell me what you love most about me," expecting something sweet, perhaps even thoughtful. Her boyfriend responded with convenience. She asked if he meant emotionally convenient. He said no, logistically. Apparently, she lived near his gym, his favorite deli, and the only parking garage he trusted, making their relationship, in his mind, a bundle package. When she asked if he had anything to say about her specifically, he said, "Well, you're also nice," which lands emotionally with the force of a slightly damp paper towel. The conversation spiraled into an accidental performance review of their entire relationship. She concluded that dating someone who treats love like an errand route is not her calling. He later texted, "Are you still coming to dinner?" The answer was, shockingly, no. 22. A man attempted Valentine's romance by sending his girlfriend a playlist titled "Songs That Remind Me of You," only for her to discover that every single track was either a breakup anthem or a song about personal flaws. When she asked why he included a ballad literally called "You Exhaust Me," he said it had emotional relevance. She inquired which emotions specifically. He replied, "Complicated ones." The playlist continued with titles like "Unfinished Business" and "Please Don't Call Me," creating a vibe that suggested he might be trying to pre-break up without writing a sentence. When she confronted him, he claimed the algorithm suggested the songs, proving once again that blaming technology is the modern relationship escape hatch of cowards. She ended things with the absolute certainty of someone who understands musical foreshadowing. 23. A woman texted her boyfriend a cheerful Valentine's reminder. Dinner at 7. Don't be late. His reply, "Who is this?" Not in a flirty role-playing way, in a literal confused way. After a full year of dating, he somehow didn't recognize her number because he had labeled her as Sarah from Trivia, despite the fact that her name wasn't Sarah. When she questioned why he hadn't updated it, he shrugged via text by saying, "I don't change contact names unless necessary." She informed him that being his girlfriend seemed fairly necessary. He argued that names are just labels, a statement she found interesting enough to remove herself from his life entirely. He now has one fewer label to manage, which is probably for the best given his astonishing organizational strategy of a medieval filing cabinet. 24. A man tried to appear mysterious on Valentine's Day by texting, "Tonight will reveal everything," which sounded seductive until he followed it with, "Assuming traffic isn't bad." His girlfriend requested clarification on what exactly would be revealed. He panicked and said, "A surprise," which is what people say when they have no plan. She pressed him, and he admitted he hadn't secured reservations, hadn't bought a gift, and hadn't even checked if she was free. The grand reveal turned out to be an empty calendar and vibes. She broke up with him for promising a dramatic plot twist and delivering the narrative strength of an abandoned IKEA instruction manual. The only mystery left unresolved was how he thought this strategy would lead to anything resembling romance. 25. A woman ambushed her boyfriend with a Valentine's message reading, "I know what you did," providing no context, punctuation, or mercy. He immediately confessed, not to one thing but to 5 separate incidents she had never even suspected. She clarified that she was talking about him eating her leftovers. Meanwhile, he had just admitted to 3 lies, 1 cover-up, and a mysterious Venmo payment marked "Oops." She ended the relationship, not because of the leftovers, but because she'd accidentally discovered he collapses under pressure like a wet cardboard bridge. Valentine's Day isn't known for plot twists, yet this one unfolded like a televised interrogation with commercial breaks. 26. A man texted his girlfriend a Valentine's coupon he designed himself using a free template. 1 free hug, redeemable upon approval. She pointed out that hugs typically don't require pre-authorization. He said he was trying to make it fun and official. She asked why the coupon expired the next day. He answered that limited time offers create excitement, forgetting he was not running a Mattress Warehouse sale. When she challenged why it included legal fine print, he proudly said he used a contract generator so it felt legit. She replied that nothing kills romance like paperwork. He insisted she wasn't embracing the spirit of the gesture. She insisted he retire his marketing degree from their relationship. They ended things before the coupon could be redeemed, saving both from a lifetime of emotionally themed promotional materials. 27. A woman tried sending her boyfriend a sultry Valentine's text that read, "Guess what I'm wearing?" But thanks to a tiny typo, it went out as, "Guess what I'm warning." He responded with immediate panic, asking if there was danger, a gas leak, or an intruder. She attempted to clarify, but autocorrect attacked again and transformed her next message into, "Prepare yourself." He assumed this was a threat. She attempted one more correction, which emerged as, "Time is running out." At this point, he had gone into full apocalypse prep mode. By the time she finally managed to send the original flirty message, he admitted he was no longer in a romantic mindset and was currently hiding in his car. The relationship didn't survive the linguistic hostage situation. 28. A man tried to craft an emotional Valentine's confession by texting, "I've never felt this way about anyone," which might have worked if it weren't followed by, "I think you're the one who can fix me." She replied that she was a person, not a software update. He claimed everyone needs fixing. She reminded him that relationships are not psychiatric emergency rooms. He tried to rebrand Fix Me as Grow With Me, but the damage was done. He had revealed that his romantic vision involved her performing emotional plumbing on a leaking personality. She politely exited the situation, leaving him alone with his unresolved issues and the wisdom that Valentine's Day is not an appropriate time to assign unpaid therapeutic labor. 29. A woman texted her boyfriend a sweet Valentine's message saying, "I can't wait for our future together." He responded with, "Let's not make promises we can't keep." She asked if he meant her or himself. He said, "Mostly the universe," which is the romantic equivalent of citing force majeure in a relationship. She asked if he was planning to stay committed. He replied that commitment is a spectrum. and she informed him that, for relationships, it is actually more of a switch. He continued philosophical rambling about impermanence until she recognized he was essentially breaking up using language lifted from a meditation podcast. She wished him clarity on his journey and left him to date the universe instead. 30. A man attempted to surprise his girlfriend with an early Valentine's text that read, "I booked us something unforgettable tonight." She asked what it was. He hesitated long enough to reveal he had booked nothing. Under pressure, he invented an imaginary reservation at a restaurant that did not exist. When she Googled it and found nothing, he claimed it was exclusive and underground, which is a bold description for a thing you made up in real time. She asked for the address. He sent coordinates. She asked if they were coordinates to a restaurant or a crime scene. He admitted defeat. The unforgettable experience turned out to be watching him unravel like a dollar store sweater. The relationship ended, and he learned the hard way that improvisation is not a recognized Valentine skill set. 31. A woman planned to send her boyfriend a heartfelt Valentine's message, but accidentally sent him a screenshot of her text draft complaining to a friend. "He better not propose tonight. I'm not in the mood." He responded with a simple, "Noted." She tried to explain that she wasn't rejecting the idea of a proposal, just the timing. He pointed out that rejecting a hypothetical engagement based on mood is still quite a choice. She then asked if he was planning to propose, hoping to salvage something. He said he wasn't sure anymore, mostly because he didn't feel like becoming someone's seasonal chore. The conversation concluded with both acknowledging that if a proposal has mood requirements, the relationship might need a system reboot. Valentine's Day didn't break them. Her screenshot did, delivering precision damage straight to the romantic engine. Well, that was a tour through Valentine's finest train wrecks. Now choose your favorite disaster in the comments, because clearly humanity's not done. Like, subscribe, and bring more chaos next time.